Help! Help! I'm dying! I'm dying! Oh, thank God! Thank God someone's here. I'm losing consciousness.
We stumbled across another body. It looked like a classic case of... Hey, what happened to you?
A G3 base warped right through here. Right where I was. And, well, it shot me right in half. I got cut in half.
A G3 base. That can only mean one thing. Not sure what, though.
Oh, God, I'm fading fast. Please just stay with me while I die. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be alone.
Do they still have a chance of survival? Who's to say? No way to know. Not even with all the blood and half their body missing. We weren't going anywhere until it was over.
No. It's my time to go. Oh, thank you for staying with me as I die. Oh, just don't leave. Okay. Now I feel it. Here I go. Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead. Oh.
And just like that, another candle is snuffed out in the wind. So cool.
Hey, where are you guys going? You promised me to stay with me until I die. Oh, I feel it.
Oh, whoops, I thought he died.
Come back.
Welcome to Between the Joysticks. Press start and then we're off. Nick and John, they've got the sauce. Breaking news and some hot takes. Even if there's some mistakes, Nick is captaining the ship, while John gives thoughts straight from the hip. But when their powers combine, we're all in for a hell of a time. Between the Joysticks, it's the best. Up to 6 things they will address. Tell all your friends and settle in. Between the Joysticks now begins.
Hello there, and welcome to episode 131 of the video game podcast Between the Joysticks. I'm your host, Nick, and I'm joined by my co-host, John. John, now we gather here today to celebrate the life of another live service game that's going to be gone too soon. Oh, man. That game, Resident Evil Reverse. Short-lived, October 28th, 2022 to June 29th, 2025. That's the date that it's going to be put down.
I was about to say, we're living in the future?
Yeah, John, it's another live service game that just couldn't make it. This one, again, had the strength of IP of Resident Evil. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's pretty good, and it had characters from every game, but couldn't make it, John.
Yeah.
I want you, we're at a funeral here.
Say some nice words.
Yeah, can you say something nice about Resident Evil Reverse?
This wonderful experience that we all had our hands on a couple years past had absolutely no right to exist in the first place.
Oof,
Resident Evil
nice.
is not the franchise to try and make a live service game with. I believe that was, when we were getting a little birth announcement from this game, couple years past. I think I had that same opinion. So,
you don't think Resident Evil could make a good live service game?
No, I don't. I don't think you have the gameplay there. It's inherently a single player experience. It's clunky in not a bad way, in a way that you're kind of meant to be in a survival horror game.
Do you remember? I forget what it's called. The Resident Evil 3 had a multiplayer mode too, where one person was like a director kind of character, and that 4 people had to escape, and you could place monsters on the field and stuff like that. That also did not set the world on fire.
No, I mean, I struggle to think of, and maybe I'm about to have my foot in my mouth like I usually do on this show, but I struggle to think of any really popular live service game that doesn't have quick, snappy gameplay, whether it's shooting based or Super Smash Brothers, that kind of stuff. Even something like Multiverses had the snappy stuff, but that didn't work. So I think these need to be gameplay driven things first, and I don't see people clamoring to try and get into Resident Evil and have to headshot an asymmetrical zombie a bunch of times while you're hiding and lurking. It just doesn't seem like something that would ever get that way to me. That's just kind of how I feel from a base standpoint.
Sure, that's fine. So I want you to take a stab at this. What do you think the Open Critic score is for Resident Evil Reverse, or did you look it up?
I have not.
Okay, good. All right.
64.
No,
Okay.
not 64.
Okay, what is it?
It is a healthy 38.
Well, that's all we have. They put a pin in this, Nick. We don't have to say anything else. I mean, yeah, not only are you trying to fight the fight of getting into this ever expanding space, but that's your best effort. Come on. At that point, you deserve to die.
Yeah,
that's
true.
You deserve to die.
So, yeah, another game. It's our fourth one of the year. So, again, we'll hopefully we're not here. Maybe we should come up with a name for the cemetery we keep visiting to eulogize these live service games. But
Unlive something. It's as far as I could go.
Unlive service cemetery.
Yeah. Now, you started this. I thought for a second we were going to talk about, I have to say it because it's so close to near and dear to both of our hearts. But I thought we were going to talk about Biff Whiff for a second here.
Oh yeah.
R.I.P. Biff Whiff. Detective Crashmore himself from the show that we bring up all the time on this show. And if you haven't seen it, you probably get mad at us every single time. But from I Think You Should Leave, good old Biff Whiff passed unfortunately this past weekend. So, but that's all I really have to say about that.
Okay.
Starting with the vibes high.
Yeah.
This episode.
All right, we'll go to the next segment, which is a press X for drama. There was some internet drama, John, since we last recorded our State of Play episode.
Okay.
Do you have any inkling as to what the drama is about?
The only thing I can think of is just people not liking the State of Play, but I'm sure that's not it. No, what do we got?
We got the Marvel Rivals. The game we don't talk about in this show. The show's not about it. Except we should be a fan cast about it. 2 new heroes are coming, John. We might have to. 2 new heroes are coming, so we do have to re-rank all 37 heroes now from worst to best. But there was some drama.
I'm tapping you in, Freddie B.
Involving Marvel Rivals, and I wasn't gonna bring it, but since it was like a big deal, I figured we can touch upon it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that there were some layoffs concerning Marvel Rivals. This came from Thaddeus Sasser, who worked out of Seattle on the game. He posted this to LinkedIn. "This is such a weird industry. My stellar, talented team just helped deliver an incredibly successful new franchise in Marvel Rivals for NetEase Games, and we're just laid off. Oh well, times are tough all over. Let's find these incredible people new jobs because we all need to eat, right?"
Smiley face.
Yep, smiley face. And
Jesus.
as the internet likes to do is blow this up, right? This is a great headline, right? The headline being Marvel Rivals, gigantically successful IP lays off its director and its staff.
Yeah.
And the internet ran with that and got all heated. We should, ban Marvel Rivals. They got some negative Steam reviews. And then so Marvel Rivals, NetEase developer, had to address it. And they're like, yeah, this is just part of our streamlining our process. And this was like 6 people.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
So par for the course type thing.
Yeah, this was a satellite group that was helping develop the game. They're still going to be credited for it, but it's not the creative director of the game itself. The majority of the employees are still here, and they're going to continue to work on the game.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay. Well, never want people to lose their jobs. It goes without saying. But, I have a hard time getting rah-rahed about this one. I mean, if you're operating a satellite office with a very low amount of employees and the product got pushed out, I mean, and you're looking to, right? Companies are always looking to see where the fat is. It kind of makes sense that would be a target,
right.
And what I always kind of think of, from anecdotally, I know a lot of people, I think as we all do, that kind of don't. Please know I am not saying this about this guy, right? But they come to you with a scenario and they go, I can't believe this happened to me. And then you find out something later. It's like, yeah, but you had the opportunity 5 times along the path to get out or they were, I don't know the specifics, right? But I just kind of sometimes think like, well, it kind of probably makes a little bit of sense. Like, I don't.
Yeah, I think it keeps touching on a point that I keep having about these layoff announcements is the virtual signaling, the like hyper focusing on these things and sensationalizing the line, and when nobody really knows game development, unfortunately, other than the people that work there. And layoffs are not new to any industry. If you work a corporate job, you've probably seen layoffs at some point in your lifetime.
Well, and do you know, Nick? Maybe you do. Do you know what specifically his team of 6 did?
They were doing like R&D for the game, so I can't.
So like, okay, because I'm just looking at the specific verbiage of like, my talented team just helped deliver an incredibly successful new franchise. And to me, and this could be the way he phrased it, but like, seems like maybe a lot of your guys' work was on the front end of it, whether it's like developing the season trajectories or whatever. And they go, look, we're past this point now. Now
Right.
we're in the maintenance phase of this game. It kind of makes sense. And a good thing they're getting credit for it, right? That's a big thing in this industry, is you want to make sure that you have the things on your resume you're able to bring them forward. I was just reading a story about Ghost Story Games, Ken Levine's team, and apparently like everybody there right now is not the same people that were there when the team got founded.
Yeah,
so it's
11
like,
years
so
ago.
all these people that were there, they have this big long 5, 6, 7 year gap that they're
no shipped games.
Right, no shipped games. It's not a death sentence for applying for a job. I'm sure they're going to be able to go and be like, look, I was on Ken Levine's team and but it still is a hard thing to do. So at least they got that. Hopefully these guys land on their feet. I'm sure they will. If you have Marvel Rivals on your resume, you're gonna be okay. It'd be like working for J.P. Morgan Chase and and then you lose your job for some reason. And be like, yeah, but you were a very successful banker there. Come work at Wells Fargo. It's fine.
Right. Right.
So hopefully it goes well. But I think it's much too loud.
These projects are cyclical, right? A product comes out, you move on. If you're some studios, you probably get in pre-production on another one. If you're working at Insomniac, you finish Spider-Man 2, you're probably on Wolverine, right? You just go over to the next thing. And same thing here. Like there's the highest the studio staff is right before the game is out.
Right.
Like wait till we're going to hear all the layoff stories at Rockstar Games right after Grand Theft Auto 6 is out and successful.
What do you mean you don't need the writers anymore? Well, we wrote the game.
Yeah, that these people, they crunched, they worked on the game, and now that the game's out, they're going to slim that staff down.
Yeah.
It's just part of the industry.
It is. I don't know personally, but it seems like what you kind of sign up for when you work in a highly, highly creative space. I'm sure the movie industry operates in very much the same way. The music industry, there's incredible treasures to be had if you are successful in this space, but it also comes with a certain degree of risk. If you want to have a level of job security, go work at Walmart. Obviously that's a very, very big swing, but it's just kind of, if you pay attention to the industry, this shouldn't really surprise you. But
yeah,
you'll be okay, Mr. Thaddeus. You'll be okay.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like you said, you have a game like that on your resume. I think you're going places.
Yeah.
And again, they're in Seattle, which is a mecca
expensive
of development. So
yeah, I'd be curious to see, like, does NetEase have any other teams in the U.S., like little satellite teams? Like,
I'm sure
they do too, but I don't know. I mean, it is a primarily Chinese company. If you have this team here of 6 that had a lot to do with shipping this, you're not going to have a bunch of those. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Again, we don't know a lot about it. Yeah, we don't know a lot about it. So, all right. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got for our, it's our hangover episode after a state of play, so that's all I got for the intro here. So unless you got something else, John.
Did our poll numbers change at all on like the ratings for state of play? No, it was still just hard 80% Ds.
Yeah, it did not change. No,
okay.
No additional votes.
I will say I felt a little vindicated, a little bit, because anytime you get reviews or like scores like that, you're kind of like, is it me? Did I not pick up something? But they had the exact same thoughts on Sacred Symbols the other day. They're just like everyone's just like L in chat, L, and they're just like, that was one of the better shows we've seen. It's just,
yeah, kind of funny. It was
no new
very
IPs,
positive on it too. So yeah,
good. We know things still. Got to check ourselves every once in a while. Barometer.
Yeah, there you go. No, we're the best in the biz, the podcast biz. That's why you're listening. All right, well, if that's it, we can get into the show, John.
Sure.
All right, this is how the show works. John and I can both bring up the 3 things to talk about for a total of 6 things. It can be a video game we're playing, a news item, a topic. It can be an email from you, the listener. Betweenthejoysticks@gmail.com is how you write in. You can follow us on Twitter at JoysticksPod, or you can comment on our YouTube page, Between the Joysticks. Any of those things, we'll talk about it and bring it. And we're going to kick things off with a listener email. Pal of the show, Jesse, is writing in to follow up his thoughts on Yakuza Like a Dragon. And now I'm going to edit the reading of this email because he does get into spoilers of the end. So I'm going to read.
Jesse,
cut
I got
it a
my
little
hands
bit.
on my hips looking at you. Jesse.
And I'll respond to you, Jesse, as we can talk a little bit more. But
For sure.
He did not feel the same way about the ending, unfortunately. The specifics. So sad face.
Yeah.
So my barometer, thinking he'd like it, not so much. So. All right. Hey, guys, just a follow-up to Yakuza Like a Dragon. I finished it, and I loved it. Prepare yourself for all of my thoughts. I said it before, and I'll say it again. Ichiban is one of my favorite video game characters of all time. He's so pure-hearted and naive, but optimistic, and always tries to do the best for all his friends. He's so cool and also knows how to get shit done. I really like the story with all the twists and turns and the wackiness, but I like that it also knew when to be serious, too. It was awesome fighting Majima and Sajima, and then the Kiryu fight was my favorite. I'm a bit conflicted on the ending. I thought the voice actor for Ichiban did an amazing job in the last few scenes. I loved all the mini games at the arcades, and the business manager part-time hero was a good way to do collectibles and side content. I really liked all the side quests and unlocking the pound mates too. Pound mates.
Oh, that sounds kinky.
They're like the summons of the game.
Oh, okay.
So they're like in Final Fantasy when you summon,
Pound
Shiva and all the dragons. They're called pound mates in this. And
Is it because
really,
they're in like jail or something beforehand, or like why are they?
I don't know why they're the name where they came with the name.
Yakuza just being
But
Yakuza.
they're just people that you meet in the world. I loved calling them in for the first time to see how silly their moves would be. Other than that, I loved pretty much everything else about the game. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. In order for me to get that platinum, I have to beat 2 more extremely hard dungeons and level up to 70. But after I rolled credits, I was around level 54. So I estimate probably 20 to 30 hours of grinding left. I don't think I'll get it. I'm definitely keen to continue the Yakuza story, but I'm a bit burnt out on it now. My PS5 says 98 hours on the clock, so I'll jump back in later in the year. If you guys have any more questions, I'll be happy to answer them. After bustling the streets of Ijincho, I'll be heading to 1403 Bohemia and playing Kingdom Come Deliverance. Also, John, if you're going to take any of my game recommendations seriously, go and play Liza P. Sorry for the long ass email. Don't be sorry, Jesse.
Never be sorry.
We like your long ass emails. So yeah, there we go. He still felt very strongly on the game. Like I said, I edited out his thoughts on the ending. But again, John, now you have me and Jesse high on the
so
game.
Much angst behind that me, Nick. Nick's,
Me?
fellow listeners out there, Nick is getting a little salty with me because I tend to take your guys' words and considerations before Nick's. So I don't know. Maybe I should never play anything they want. Otherwise, it's just more ammunition for you.
Yeah, I mean,
Listen, Cyberpunk just wasn't that good, man. I'm sorry. It's all Cyberpunk's. I'm just kidding. It's not Cyberpunk's fault. That is a good game that I just don't have time for. No, Jesse, your email did. I think I read it and then made that comment to Nick, like, wow, he's making me really want to play this game, and he threw his arms up in the air and started huffing and puffing. But it does, like, I think a nice, lighthearted, and I'm probably Rebirth is the one I should be really doing, but like a lighthearted, Heart of Gold type characters is kind of what I need after continuously spending. I'm over 100 hours in Hollow Knight now, and so after just pounding my face against these dumb bosses, it'd be nice to do that. Get something like with some sunshine, some rainbows, a character who just wants the best for everybody. But yeah, I get so hung up on like, oh, the mini games are great, and just the amount of content. Like, oh, you got all the pound mates, and then there's like an Animal Crossing thing in there, right? And there's
that's the sequel.
Oh, that's Infinite Wealth. Okay.
Yeah, this has like it's called he touched on it briefly, a business simulator where you invest in businesses and you pick who's going to be running it. And
Yakuza 0 had that too.
Yeah.
And I didn't engage with it at all.
Okay. Yeah.
But I will
it's
say,
optional.
Yeah. I will say though, Jesse, like to Lies of P, friend of the show Will has let me play Alan Wake 2, so I'm trying to do that one first. But my plan was when I return that back to him, because he's a physical boy just like me, is to snag his Lies of P, because he does own that, and then so hopefully might be able to play that, and just in time for the newly announced DLC. Also, might be just a good time to do it. But
Just gonna go into sad game after sad game after sad game.
I'm a sad boy. What do you want? Sad games for sad boys.
Because I don't think Liza P is very happy.
No, but he's a puppet. You know, he's a little puppet.
It's a
No, I mean,
Pinocchio's tale.
dude, well, happy games suck. Come on, how many good happy games are there? After I just talked about wanting one.
Astrobot, your game of the
True.
year.
That's true. Was not my game of the year.
Oh, that's right. Right. Sorry, Velatro. That seems pretty happy.
It is pretty happy. Lots of smiling jokers. A couple frowny jokers.
All right. Well, thank you for writing in, Jesse. We appreciate it. Again, betweenthejoysticks@gmail.com. We will read your email on this very show. All right. Next topic. Exciting. I'm happy. This week, by Friday, the plan is on Friday, I will be joining the Cool Kids Club, the OLED TV Club.
Welcome
I will
to the promised land.
be purchasing an LG C4 television.
What size?
I'm going to go with 55 because, again,
55?
I game in an office, so
Sure.
I don't need the big 65-inch screen. So that brings me to a topic I wanted to bring on the show. I'm going to refer to the master over here because, John, what OLED do you have?
I have the LG C1, the 77-inch.
Wow, someone's compensating for something. Wow, 77 inches? Do
The,
they even get any bigger?
For that model, I think there is an 80-something, or like the C4. It's just the new one. But no, I mean, when I moved into I got it at the same time I moved into a new house, and we had a unfinished basement. So part of that process was finishing the basement up the way we wanted, and then I had it's kind of an open concept basement. So huge open space, big ass couch. It literally anything smaller would look small on the wall. I have it on. So not to try and. It's not about the size; it's how you use it. But yeah, I've had that thing for 4 years now. 3 years?
You've been at three years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, John has a lot of experience in the OLED department. You have been using it for a very long time, so you're probably just like used to it by now.
Yeah.
But so I'm gonna hook this thing up. I'm gonna hopefully successfully mount it on my wall with no hiccups. And I like the question I want is like what should I be playing first? What should I be looking to really show off those blacks, that brightness, all the advantages of moving to the OLED television?
Well, you definitely already understand the main draw, which is good since you're buying one. But yes, you want the dark. The dark is where you're going to see all the wonderfulness. Now, you are absolutely right. I only play video games on this, so it's hard to kind of tell. However, my brain goes to a couple places. First and foremost, I think you have to boot up Cyberpunk.
Yep, that was my number one.
Yeah, it's a game that you're obviously very familiar with. Inherently, so you're going to be able to hopefully tell like everything popping a little bit better. Obviously, all the neon, all the colors, like it's just going to be a great one. Even if it's raining and you're going to see like the ray tracing and all that stuff going.
Do you notice? I know VRR is a thing too.
Yes.
Again, obviously, this is something you're just normal with, and I had to like just be jealous of when like games like Spider-Man 2 were out and took advantage of that, and is like, oh, in performance mode, it could get their frame rate could be insane, at certain parts.
I enjoy VRR more than probably any other aspect of my TV.
Okay. Interesting.
Similar to I think
Such a technical episode. We usually don't get in the weeds like this.
If you're, I think it'll kind of track similarly, like if you're a performance person or a resolution person, right? Like I personally find that the difference you achieve with the performance, it just exceeds what like a little bit crisper of a picture will look like to me. So yeah, turning VRR on, like obviously the LGs have, they even have like a game hub, right? So it senses you're playing a game and it does all the blacks and enables VRR and does all that stuff. But yeah, I think I was getting.
Can you explain VRR really quick? I guess we shouldn't just be thrown around.
Yeah, so I believe it stands for variable refresh rate.
Yes.
So typically TVs operate in chunks of, I want to say 30 frames or maybe 60 frames, right? So you got your 30 frames, your 60 frames, your 120 frames, your 240 frames. Typically those are the spots where if developers can hit those numbers, it's going to look awesome on your TV. What happens a lot of times is developers aren't able to hit a consistent frame rate with that, and so they almost have to just go to the next lowest spot to enable a steady performance so that you're not, really getting a headache or anything while you're playing. And what VRR does is effectively enable all those in-betweens, right? So I believe I turned VRR on when I was playing Spider-Man 2, and I was playing at like 97 frames per second or something. Like the TV literally tells you in the moment like where it's clocking in at. And while the extra frames are not as it's exponential or parabolic. I don't know what the fucking calculus term is, but like diminishing returns, right? Like the jump between 30 to 60 is crazy. The jump between 60 to 120 is less so. But when you are playing the games like Spider-Man, fast moving, lots of shit flying by you at the same time, it really does feel just better. It just feels more responsive. Sure. Everything is better there. So VRR is absolutely a key thing. And so, it would be nice, like if there was some sort of game lined up, like Cyberpunk in higher frames is going to look good, right? But you want something quick, right? The things that I like, Hades, Hollow Knight, things like that, are really going to make that shine. So yeah, VR is dope. Now, another game that popped in my head when we're talking about recommendations, there has been one game that I've played on my TV since I've gotten it, except for like the first week or so that I had it where everything looked gorgeous, that I went like, holy shit. I didn't know that the contrast differences between the blacks and the brights could be so much, and it's unfortunate in this instance because it's not available on PlayStation, so I can't really recommend it right now, but the Ori games are absurd on OLED. And so if those games ever do come to PlayStation, if you're feeling a Metroidvania, like, because Ori as a character is like a glowing beacon of light, right? And then so next to the blacks it just looks unreal. So that's like that one pops into my head immediately. But I think anything with blacks, man. Resident Evil, right? Like lurking through some sort of dark basement where like you can really start to see the differences of like where you can tell like is the front like if you're going down a tunnel, right? And the end of the tunnel you can't see, it's black as can be, but you can still see the kind of the sidewalls, and like it just makes it all feel so much more immersive. So like I don't know, man. Like I would just recommend playing something you are very familiar with first to get a baseline, and then you're just gonna go wild, man. You're gonna do what you did when you got like your PS5 for the first time, and you're probably like, oh, any PS4 game, let me just see, does it do anything to it? And I am very curious to see what you think, because before I bought my OLED, I was playing on, I think technically it was a 4K TV, but it was kind of crappy, and it just didn't do it for me, and I couldn't go back at this point. OLEDs really are worth the money, guys. Like it's a hard thing to kind of justify, right? When you're going for a TV. Luckily, they're more expensive now than they ever have been, but like
less expensive.
Yeah, what did I say?
More.
Oh yeah, less expensive. Yes. So like you don't have to compromise as much as you used to, but like if you care about, and not just video games, right? Movies. Like there's also that whole aspect of it. If you appreciate your media, guys, and you've ever thought about buying an OLED TV and you just haven't pulled the trigger, or you haven't been able to justify it, it's the truth for sure. Is there any games that you're like eyeing that?
No. Just like I had Cyberpunk, and I still have access to like Astrobot and Stellar Blade, and I think those like Stellar Blade would probably be a good VRR game just because. Yeah, like that game is really smooth.
I did find a list from thegamer.com, and they had 12 games to play on your OLED, and they did put Ori at number 1, which I feel kind of good about. Another couple things, I mean, Demon Souls, but you're not a Souls guy.
Right.
Tetris Effect. Do you own Tetris Effect?
I did for PS4. I know there's a newer version of it now.
Yeah, there's the connected one. I mean, I would say even if you can boot up that PS4 one, like just the amount of like brightness versus the darkness, just kind of showing Nick a little screenshot here, right? There's like this forest and all
that game is beautiful even on just a normal TV.
That would be one to kind of just see it all pop. Doom Eternal, they say, looks pretty sweet, Nick, so it might be time to play some Doom Eternal.
Well, I'm definitely excited for future games, of course.
For sure.
Definitely like a fast-moving Doom. The Dark Ages is definitely up there.
You know what game I don't know? I don't know if I ever played Rift Apart on my OLED, and that would, I mean, not that you're ever going to want to go back to that.
Right.
It's not a you recommendation, but I bet
Right.
that's one that would look real crispy.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we were talking. I mean, we were talking about it briefly, but they're having a big sale on extra and premium upgrades and new accounts. It's like pretty decent, substantial, like 20 to 30% off. And mine renews in June, so my price to like just get the premium was like 14 or 15
You should
bucks.
definitely do that.
So I would have access to Rift Apart and other games that I haven't played in the past. So
Dude, even just like booting up Demon Souls, like just to look at it, like would be cool.
can reboot Dave the Diver.
Dude, this is perfect. Like we just got news a little bit ago about the you're gonna be able to watch Last of Us Season 2 on this thing too.
Yeah.
That's gonna be dope.
Yeah.
We did just get an official date for that. April 13th for all those out there looking forward to it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. It's just exciting. It's exciting because, like, you are the guy that cares more out of, like, to get the top-end experience, right? Like, I am a very apathetic person throughout life. I kind of just go, yeah, whatever it is what it is. But, like, you've been wanting a Pro forever. Are you going to get a Pro with on top of this?
No. Like I said, I need a reason to get it, like a future game. So,
Grand Theft Auto 6.
yeah, Grand Theft Auto 6, Ghost, obviously. Those are the two big ones. We'll see. I'm a little worried that when Grand Theft Auto does get that release date, that Pro will be all of a sudden selling out again. So we'll see. But I'm not. Like I said, I'm struggling to find a game to play in the first place. So
Yeah.
I'm not like I can wait and
what
pray my
actually-
house stops turning on me.
You know, it'd probably be pretty good. It's probably Alan Wake 2. Would probably
Sure.
look pretty sweet on your OLED.
True, and I do
I'm
own
playing
that
right now.
digitally.
It does
so,
look pretty sweet.
Yeah,
Oh.
I own it digitally, so I could check that out.
Yeah, what are some dark games? Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight's very dark.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was thinking like, yeah, and I just played all the dark games like Silent Hill.
Silent Hill
2
would be good.
would be great too, and
But like that's not. Yeah, that's just to say like that's just one aspect of the OLED. Like fucking super bright shit is awesome too, man. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to give you anything specific.
everything's gonna look better. You know,
That's-
like I said, Astrobot has new levels. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna play those, and I'm sure it's gonna look great for VRR and just the brightness.
But yeah,
maybe
dude,
it's a dark level.
if those Ori games ever come, man, like
Yeah. So
yeah.
yeah, exciting. I'll have maybe some brief impressions next episode.
Every single one of these, I'm just looking at a bunch of lists. They're all just like, yeah, play Ori. And there's something about that game that they. Man,
Why there isn't it on PlayStation?
I don't know. I wonder if Xbox is like mad at Moon Studios because like what's their new one, No Rest for the Wicked. Mm-hmm. You know, they're not working exclusively with Xbox anymore. Like, well, we're not going to put your games on PlayStation. I'm sure that's not the case, but you would also think that the Ori games would be one of the first things to just get moved over.
Right, if you're moving over Master Chief Collection.
Right,
and
and
stuff like
we're doing
that,
Hi-Fi Rush and all these other like things. Why not do that? So, God, those games are good. Cool, man. Well, so you said you're going to have it. Have it on your wall Friday night. Is the plan?
That is well, yeah, that is the plan.
Okay.
That is the plan. I'm hoping, like I mentioned last episode, I had a pain in the ass getting my old TV off, so I might change stands, but I don't know yet about that. So that
How's your
might add
weekend
in
look?
some more.
Open.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I have an open weekend.
Okay. Well, it's just it's always a bummer when you get something like that, and then it's like, I got a wedding, and then I gotta go.
No,
You
well,
know.
I'm going on a cruise the week after, so that'll get in the way. But no, it's fine.
You should just cancel.
Yeah, just not go.
Staycation.
No, like I said, this is all just prep work for when the games do come out that I'm ready and get to enjoy them.
So-
even more than I already do.
Okay, so obviously Grand Theft Auto 6 and Ghosts. Besides those two, is there anything else that you're like, ooh, like that?
I'm sure Expedition 33, Doom: The Dark Ages, those are kind of the first,
Doom: The Dark Ages, probably
like the big games that are finally going to come out that I really want to play. But I'm sure everything. You know, we talked about Shinobi last week. I'm sure that game will look amazing on an OLED. So yeah, it's wait and see. More, hopefully, more games will sneak out and.
I'm gonna be mad. You're gonna probably come into work and be like, "Hey, man, my TV does this." And be like, "What? You do?" Like, it's gonna be something your C4 does that my C1 doesn't. Like, I think the new ones do have like Dolby Vision or something. I don't know. There's all these like little like, it does HDR10
slight
plus and Dolby
improvements,
Vision
yeah.
and DLSS and PSSR and blah blah. Like, I don't. Okay, just it looks good. That's enough.
Right,
That's enough for me.
exactly.
Awesome.
All right. Cool. And on to my last topic here. High on Life. I've been teasing it for a couple weeks now. I played it and I saw it through to the ending. I completed it. So if you're not familiar with High on Life, it is from Squanch Games, the Justin Roiland of Rick and Morty fames. His kind of like, I think it's his studio, or I don't know if he just worked on this game. Should probably know that.
It's got to be his. Its company was founded by Justin Roiland in 2016.
Okay, perfect. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Came out December 13th, 2022. It's currently sitting at a nice 70 on OpenCritic.
Okay.
A whopping 0 fantasy points you'd get for that game.
Hey, not negative.
The big pull, again, we talked about Biff Whiff at the beginning here, is that all the guns are voiced by actors. The big one being Tim Robinson is one of the voices. JB Smooth is the voice of Morty is the first gun you get. So the appeal is right there. Like Tim Robinson is in a game, and I know I sent you some clips, John, of Tim Robinson, and it's great. Mm-hmm. Like it's so worth it. just to hear him talk over the game and be silly and. As someone who can't get enough of him, it's great. I mean, it is unfortunate he's like the last gun you get, like of the 4 main guns you get.
It's also unfortunate how much you and I like him.
Yeah,
we really he could be attached to anything, and we're there. It's not a problem. I love the man. It's not.
I mean, we're gonna go see Friendship in theaters day one probably. Just 'cause.
It's our dream that maybe this podcast will one day reach his ears and be like, "Who are these two? Oh, they're in the Midwest too. All right, let's make something happen."
Right.
That'll never happen.
Maybe one day, we'll meet them all. Just run into them on the street, at a random.
I've seen
event.
it. I've seen it. I mean, again, from kind of a similar area, you see people just running into him on the street. It's weird.
That is the strong point of this game is the humor, the voice acting. The randomness of it all, like the premise of this game is you're on Earth and your planet is invaded by aliens who are turning humans into drugs. Hence the high on life part. They're high on human life. And
so they just like suck the ooze out of people. Like
that's what it basically looks like.
Okay.
Yeah, but. What you kind of get is a story where you're trying to stop them, and by stopping them, you become a bounty hunter, and you're hunting down all their little lieutenants that are part of this gang, the space gang that is kind of taking it over. And you kind of a hub world, and then you kind of spread out into different areas from that, unlocking traversal abilities that are part of these guns. Like the JB Smooth gun is a shotgun, but it also shoots razor blades that can get stuck in a wall, and then you can start making your own platforms by using that. The Tim Robinson gun shoots out little minions, and those little minions can crawl into holes and hit switches and destroy things on other sides of these little holes. And so again, the big focus being the humor. You're walking through this alien city and there's just an Applebee's there because there's an Applebee's everywhere, I guess. It looks just like an Applebee's.
And they have to comment on it, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
and there's this alien race of like teddy bear looking creatures, and I came on one that half of his body was gone, and he was like, no, can you not leave? Can you just stay with me? I don't want to die alone. And then you're sitting there and your guns talk, and they're like, oh yeah, he looks like he's dead. And then you walk away and he's like, what the fuck? I was just about, you said you're going to be here for me. I'm not dead yet. And he probably did it to me because I was just dying laughing like 6 or 7 times. Like every time I walked away, I'm like, this has to be the end of this stupid bit. And I'd walk away and he'd be like, no, come back. And it's stuff like that. Those little moments like that really stand out in the game. And the game's only about 6 hours long. So between the voice actors on the guns and then the humor, it's not a bad game to play through, especially free, or free in quotes. It was an essential game on PlayStation, and I believe it was on Game Pass as well. It was a Game Pass day one game. But that's the only positives really, because as a shooter, as a platformer, it's incredibly clunky.
Yeah.
It never feels good. It is no Doom, that's for sure. And so you will have to stomach through those parts of the game. Like you're grinding the shooting, you're grinding the puzzles and the platforming to get to the funny bits. And that's kind of the experience. And like I said, because it's such a short game to begin with, that wasn't really a problem for me. I could stomach the just getting through it because I would be crying laughing, every 20 to 30 minutes. So
games like these that kind of, I wish there was some sort of world that existed where developers would partner up with each other and share royalties
Right.
in something where it's like, we're going to take Justin Roiland and Swanch Games and slam them into id and just combine the two.
Right.
And then, let's see what happens. That'd be amazing. But,
especially because funny video games, we don't get enough of them. We talked about Thank Goodness You're Here last year, and then High on Life here. It's just like the list of games that are going to be
Comedy's
silly
hard.
and funny and comedic. There's just not a lot of them, so it would be great if more of them succeeded and there was more development. Like this could be the next Soulsborne trend is silly funny games, and they're out there, but they're more in the smaller indie capacity.
It's
not
just
as good.
It's really hard to be funny, man. Like
Yeah.
you talk to any actor who's like able to do comedy roles and drama roles, and they'll tell you every time comedy is much harder to do. It's why you really need to appreciate people like Jim Carrey, who's able to kind of pull it together. But I think like Bryan Cranston, I think he's got some interviews talking about how like his Malcolm in the Middle character he almost views as harder to do than Heisenberg. It's just a natural thing for him. But
That's funny to me because comedy is such an easy way to measure, right? Like, how do you know I'm being funny? Well, you get a
laughing.
reaction and laughing, and so you can tell when you're being a dramatic actor. It's people are usually just,
what are you thinking right now? You
Right.
think I look like an idiot? You
Right.
you think I look like an idiot? don't you?
right? Yeah, that's
No, I'm crying on the inside.
That's funny that they see comedy, but it does also make sense why a lot of comedians make great actors too. So
Yeah, for sure.
they got the hard part done.
Yeah, Jim Carrey again.
Yeah.
Well, I think Will Ferrell's kind of another one. Like you would think he would not. He's just a pure buffoon, and he is. But he can pull it out if he needs to. That's
Right.
why I think Conan's doing a serious movie here soon, and I'm
Yes,
curious
he is.
curious to see how that goes for him. But 'cause
Conan O'Brien.
these guys are so effortlessly funny. But there's not a ton of funny games. I don't know, Nick. I don't think there ever will be. I think it'll just be
I know.
kind
I
of
know. It's
flash in the
fine.
pan things.
It's fine.
All right.
But I'll take one a year I play. That'd be good. That's a good cadence.
Yeah. What's your you got a score for this bad boy?
Oof. Yeah. It's probably a 6. Or wait, we're out of 10, right? Yeah, 6 out of 10.
Don't roll your eyes at me.
6 out of 10.
6 out of 10?
Yeah.
That seems right.
It's rough. It is a rough.
So it's
video game. This is rough as they get.
So in the Between the Joysticks universe, Cyberpunk and High on Life are both 6 out of 10.
Fuck you.
I know. Well, not really.
I mean, it's funny how nostalgic you get about games like this because they're just so especially big budget AAA games. They're made for the widest audience and they gotta succeed, right? So you usually don't get just randomly stuck, right? You don't get in a video game and be like, I have no idea where they want me to go. Like, where the fuck do they want me to go? And they have a ping ability that will kind of show you. But man, was it rough! And there's some moments where I'm like, am I dumb?
Yeah.
I don't know how to navigate this fucking environment. It's huge.
Were you in a city?
Yeah, sometimes it was a city.
Always fuck cities. That's my new campaign. Fuck cities.
Yeah, and especially with verticality.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this game does introduce wall walking and a jetpack, and so those linear stages become much more vertical, especially as the game as most development tries to have you tread through new ground with the new abilities. It just gets a little confusing, but
All right. So this will not be your game of the year.
no.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, if this year is supposed to be as good as last year or equal the year before, it's really taking its time to get there. So
Yeah. Do you think there's any? Do you know how this game
Kingdom
sold?
Come 2 is kind of a big game, but
Do you know how this game sold? Did it sell? Because I feel like this could be
It
one of
was-
those games where it's like, oh yeah, it actually sold 4 million copies, and you're like, oh,
like I said, I think it was a game. It was on Xbox exclusively first. Your eyes wide. And
well, it did the thing where it goes 7.5 million have tried our game.
Right.
Okay, so what does that mean?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah, and again, it's always funny to look at trophy data and just see kind of where the people start falling off because there's a lot of story trophies in there.
I just wonder if this is a game that gets a sequel based on like what it is, the uniqueness of it. If they kind of think that they can, okay, well we got the funny parts, let's just work with developers that can make it feel good now. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Half-Life, a High on Life 2 could be a thing.
Oh, for sure. There's plenty. I mean, this game got DLC too. Which I did not check out, but
High on Knife.
Yep, High on Knife, and so there's potential for a sequel here, especially if it didn't take them much to develop and a lot of the work's done. It's possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got, John. Those are the things I brought.
Yeah, I apologize, man. I mean, I'm not feeling inspired by news articles. I mean, I will say, little rumor today that Rocksteady might be working on a Batman Beyond game trilogy. That could be super fucking dope.
If true, yeah.
If true, obviously nothing to bring now, but no, I hate and love Hollow Knight so much right now. I get home and I boot up Alan Wake 2, and then I close my eyes and I see the Pure Vessel laughing at me, and I just gotta go beat his ass, and then it doesn't happen, and then I don't know how. Like I just lament the idea that I'm gonna be here for the next month. Like nope, I can't shake it.
Yeah.
So I'm really, 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 really trying to beat that shit, and I'm close. I've gotten to 41 out of 42 twice, but they kicked my ass both times. So I don't know. And the last boss is the hardest boss. I'm scared.
Yeah, it's just a bummer you don't get that many tries with them as you do the other, working up to the other.
Well, no, and I mean, the nice thing is that they let you go, once you reach a boss in this, they let you then go into a practice mode where you can practice them after over and over and over and over.
Thought of everything.
Yeah, so it's super nice in that regard, because, I hit. That's why I love this so much, Nick, and I'm like, it's such a cool thing that I've experienced with this game. Sorry to derail into a quick Hollow Knight topic, but where it's like, I don't know if I will ever find a game again that if I can do this, that I will be able to say I have mastered this game better than this. Like the amount of bosses, there's a famous boss that I talked to you about called the Watcher Knights, and I don't say this as like haha, I'm better than you, but like it's the boss that caused you to drop the game. Right? And like it's boss number 26 of 42, and every time I just destroy you guys. So it's just a very satisfying feeling, much like Neon White was, where you kind of just learn something so well. It's really scratching that itch, and it's really, really good. I just wish I could do it like randomly. So every once in a while, like my first fight is against, the guys I need to.
And I like to think if you do it, you will the sequel into coming out this year.
That's why I don't want to give up. I don't want to give up. I said, apparently the Hollow Knight Silk Song got pulled off Nintendo's eShop like accidentally yesterday, and I freaked out for a second. I was like, no fucking way. I'm like, if I have to deal with Earthblade and that in the same year, I'm giving up video games. But so I'm obviously, as you can see, still can't shake this one. It just sucks because I've put, like I said, 100 hours, 31 of 33 trophies, did all the work. I can't drop it now.
No, I know.
I can't.
I know it's hard. It's hard.
But
even High on Life is not a hard platinum by any means, but it's just hard enough. And I'm just not. I can't do it anymore. I can't just grind to just say I have the platinum. I have to really love the game. So.
I will say, though, I found this dope little Hollow Knight Lego set where he's sitting on a bench in a little thing. I was like, ooh, I should probably get that for my desk.
Is that legit? Or
it's not Lego licensed. It's like Mega Blocks or something. But it's got like a 4.7 out of 5 on Amazon. It's like $16. I was like, oh, he's so cute. I might have to get a little plushie or something. I love that little guy.
Nice.
But, so sorry, guys. I need like a Hades 2. I need something like that to shake me out now, or I just get this damn platinum and I can go.
Yeah. I think you just got to get this off your back, and you'll be ready to move on to Alan Wake 2, which I really want to talk about. So.
I know.
We'll go from there. But is that it? Is that all we got to tease? I think it's there'll be more reviews. Monster Hunter will be reviewed next week.
Yeah.
And ask us to be dumb and buy it.
Monster Hunter.
Yeah. Well, when it gets like a 92.
I know.
You can hear it in your voice.
I know.
It's like, this one will be different.
Well, especially
this one, you put it on the clown makeup. This one will be different. This will be the one I get into.
And we're going to have a guy that we work with that's going to probably be coming in every day talking about how awesome it is and how amazing and blah, blah, blah. And you don't have to. Well, really, you could play it this way if you wanted to. It's like, okay. So,
yeah. And then you're, like I said, then you start putting the clown makeup on. And you're like, I'll just buy this one. Like, just like I did with, like, the biggest deterrent is I bought Dragon's Dogma 2 and then I bounced off. And I'm like, this will be that same thing. So,
yeah. No, not for me with that. I don't know, man. I don't. You were right in that the beginning of this year has just felt weird. It's like there are games coming out, but like why? Yeah, they're just missing us. I just feel like bullets are just flying past us, and they just keep like what's that Metal Gear Solid villain? Metal Gear Solid 1.
Oh, yeah.
What's her name, Nick?
Yeah, the one with the railgun.
Fuck.
Will
Will is so mad right now. He is so mad. Metal Gear Solid 1 bosses.
No, it's 2. 2 is the one.
Is it 2?
Yeah, it's 2. I can picture in my
Okay.
in my, like, I can see her in my eyes. It's because it's a she.
Fortune.
Yep, there you go. Like I said, 2 is the lowest Metal Gear, so I don't.
Yeah. So
Don't
we're
ask me.
Fortune, but like the opposite of that, where it's like we want the bullets to hit us and they're just not.
Right. Well, like I said, it's fine. I mean, the big games are Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Monster Hunter, which are not our jams. So it is what it is. That's just how the year falls sometimes.
Yeah. And Avowed, but yeah. Nah.
Yeah.
Me.
Avowed doesn't look too bad.
No, I weirdly would play it, I think, if it was available on PlayStation.
Yeah, here if you want that Skyrim Fallout feel.
I mean, it's just,
that Starfield didn't provide with the exploration and finding things. I think that's
we've talked about it ad nauseum, but like I don't need a big bloated world, and I've heard this one's not big, but what I have heard about it is there's lots of little paths that lead to rewards every single time, and like it's a good loop.
Yeah,
so.
30 to 50 hour game. That's pretty good.
Yep.
All right.
But yeah, nothing.
Yeah, and then like I said, we'll talk to OLED. If I do activate my extra subscription, maybe I'll find something to play or my premium.
Give us some emails, guys. We need stuff. We need some. We'll talk about what you want.
I didn't talk about it because I had the other things that I wanted to get more. I want to talk Night Rain with you because the network test came out. Jesse has played it. Hopefully, he should write in about it.
Definitely.
But I did get a lot of details from it, and I think it's time to talk to John about Night Rain in a topic capacity.
Okay. Well, get my official. Will I do it or not?
Yeah, because there's some interesting things about it. Because you would think on the face value of combining Elden Ring and a roguelike together, John would be like,
right,
I'm all over this. But then you add the Fortnite stuff and the other stuff like that, and we'll see where John falls.
Yeah, I have never made up my mind one way or another with this one. I'm just kind of like letting it approach, and then we'll see. But yeah, I'll dive in. I'll dive into all the Night Rain stuff, and then we can.
Yeah, a lot of impressions are out there. So
nice little conversation.
A lot of the loop is out there. So we'll talk about that.
Ooh, one thing I did see today that just got me excited on a personal level. It's like apparently Tony Hawk 3+4 is going to be shadow dropped at the Xbox showcase in June, which like that makes me excited. But again, rumor.
Yeah,
Bring a lot of rumors.
Tony Hawk 4 was my game.
4 was yours? I think 3 was mine.
It was the one with the Wolverine skin. I think which is 4.
Oh really? That I think is the one I like too. Then Wolverine.
Yeah, which one was it? Was it
3?
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm wrong. It's 3. Yeah, 3 was the one.
Okay.
1 had Spider-Man. Maybe 4 was Spider-Man. I don't remember. But
okay, cool.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Look at that. Cool. We got stuff.
Spider-Man was 2.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Those were a very long time ago.
Secret character. Secret.
It's some other random
Jango Fett?
There you go.
Really?
Sure. Hey, it was, at that time he was hot, Clone Wars had just come out.
Yeah, I feel like I've never at any point in my life heard like, oh yeah, I loved playing as Jango Fett and Tony Hawk. Funny.
All right. Well, that's it for the show, John. You got a song for us, don't you?
I do, yes. So, follow You Into the Dark from Alan Wake 2. It's the song that plays right after the end of the first chapter, and I think I talked about it last week how like dope the end of that first chapter was, and it hooked me, and then I can't escape Hollow Knight, so I'm still there. But the song was dope. I played it for my son. He goes, Dad, this song's dope. I go, yeah, you're dope, dude. Everybody's dope.
Then when they high-fived.
And then we high-fived and hugged like father and son. Yeah, so I probably should have got the artist that does this, but I'm a clown.
It'll be in the show notes.
Well, yeah,
as it always is.
But you know, it just says Alan Wake too. Sorry, Raquel.
It'll be in the show notes.
Yes.
So enjoy the song. Yes, Alan Wake 2 has an amazing soundtrack. So hopefully John will bring more music.
I'm surprised you didn't. I'm surprised you never had more from this one.
I believe I did at least once, but maybe not. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there's the big song, of course.
Yeah, I know you brought that one.
But again, thank you for listening. We love you. Please rate us on your platform of choice or write in as we continually will ask of you. And you will be read on the next show. But
Boom.
until then, what's that?
I just said boom.
Boom. All right. On that note, we'll see you next week with Up to 6 Things. Goodbye.
Later, y'all.
Call the secrets from your crystal.